I can't click it. Oh, okay. It always pops up where I can't reach it. Okay, so today, today we're going to need our pencils and erasers, and if you have them, an art line felt tip pen, which is like a thin Sharpie. You don't want to use a fat Sharpie like that. We don't want that kind of stuff. Something very thin. If you don't have an art line, you could use just a regular pen, or you can just use a pencil. So at minimum, you just need eraser and pencil and sharpener. But if you've got, I'll be using the art line to show you because it's black and it stands out more. But you can still just use the pencils. So we're going to be doing hatching techniques. So let me talk a little bit about a few of the different techniques that there are. Actually, you can do them with me. We'll do that. So why don't we draw, just roughly, we're going to draw a bunch of circles. They don't have to be huge. So that one, yeah, it's roughly about as big as my eraser. Probably no bigger than that. You can draw them a little bit smaller, but not tiny. So let's draw 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, 4, 5. See, they're all sketchy and different sizes. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to write these on here, but I'm going to do it so I know because I will forget. This one is going to be hatching. Can't see that. There, hatching, that's how it's spelled. Hatching, hatching. So hatching is just a series of lines that are all in the same direction to show where the shadow is. Sorry. So imagine on all of these drawings, let's go play out again. On all of these drawings, I'm going to imagine that the light source, so in this case, the sun, is over here. So the light's coming from this direction. So that means anything on this side of these shapes is going to be in light, and anything on this side is going to be in shadow. So the shadow is what I want the hatching to be. So the first one was hatching. So just regular hatching is just lines. So let me zoom in a little bit there. Let me move this light so you can see. So basically, just drawing a line like that, and then a gap and another line. You can draw all the way across. And they're roughly evenly spaced. You can do some this side as well. Just like that. So it looks like that this is a little bit in shadow. And if you're going to do color, you could do this the darker shade of color. Or if you could just do it one color, but these lines will make it look darker. So then, I said I was going to use the felt tip, and I didn't. That's fine. To make it look darker, you can draw lines in between your lines. So basically, we're having less of a gap, and we can make it look even darker like that. So let me just do another example of one here. So if I did wide lines, and then I did a bunch of lines in between those lines, and then even more, it's basically getting, they're basically coloring it in. So it's sort of starting like this, where it's fully colored and dark. And then as I move up, it's getting more and more space between it and pressing lighter. See how there's gaps in between? That's basically what it's doing. It's the same as shading, but you're just using lines instead of color. So that's called hatching. The next one we're going to do is cross hatching. So CROSS hatching, HATCHING. Cross hatching. This is the same as hatching, but So we start with our hatching, but then we do the cross, which is we do the opposite angle as well. So you're doing little crosses over, like little X's. So you can see that. So this one, I'll do another little example on the side. This one is the same as the cross hatching, where you can do them wider. And then the same, you can do them wide with the other cross, or you can come back and fill in some areas to make them more, have less white space, so that it's the same again as the shading, it's like coloring them in. So you can make them darker. So if you look at those from a distance, they sort of look like there's light hitting the top and they're shaded underneath. But in these areas where it's underneath, in the shadow side, remember I said this side's light, this side's shadow, that's where you want to have the lines close together, so it looks like there's less white area or light area, so it looks like it's shadow. So even though it looks like I may have colored it in, I've just been using lines to get those darker areas. Next one we have is called stippling. S-T-I-P, is it double P? I think it is. Stippling. Let me just check that. Hans! My dog is barking at someone. Yes, I did spell it right. Double P. Six. So stippling is dots. So if you're using a pen, just be very careful. Don't slam your pen down. Krisha, I'll get to your question in just a second. But it's just doing dots like this. Just like this. And the further away they are from each other, that means the lighter it is because there's more space between. And the closer the dots are together, that means there's less space in between, so less light area. So it's going to look darker. So I'm doing these ones really close together, just dotting all over the place. And then as I get away from that shadowy area, I sort of spread them out a bit more. This can take a long time. My students always hate stippling. So you can see how it sort of has that darker edge to it on the shadow side. Krisha, do you want to ask a question?
That like need to dry it, or we can dry it with like, or we can like just wash.
Well, for now, let's just do so. You draw what I'm drawing, just so you can get practice. And after we do these, once I talk about these, then you can sort of draw your own thing, and we'll use the techniques as well. Okay, it's good. It's good work. Okay, so again, stippling works the same way. The more there are in, if I did even a smaller square here, let's zoom right in there. See my screen. Over. It's a little bit of shadow there from the phone. I'm trying to get in the lights. Oh, all right. So I'm trying to get real close. This is really tiny, and I've got to look around my phone to get to it. So, in this area, lots and lots of dots. See how it's I've almost colored it in because there's so many dots together. but I'm not coloring it in, it's just dots. If I want it to be a bit darker in some areas, I'll do that. Add a few more dots in there. There you go. So that one's, see how I'll hold it up, might be easier. Sorry. Can we get a focus on that? Yeah. It looks like it's covered in little bugs, but you know, it does have that look of being shaded. That's called stippling. You can do stippling with even like a little stamp. If you had like, I don't know, like a little animal stamp, it's like a picture of a bear, just stamping over and over again. The more you stamp in one corner, the darker it's going to get. Araf, did you have a question? No, I thought I saw your hand up, sorry. Okay, so the next one is called uneven lines. So UNEVEN, uneven hatching. So what that is, I'll just show you over to the side here, is a series. It could be anything really. Most of the time it's a series of little lines. So that's just 4 little lines, but they never repeat touching each other. So see how the lines going this way don't touch more lines going the same way. They touch ones going a different way. So I could even do diagonal ones here and diagonal the other way. And then, oops, my pencil just snapped. So those kind of things, that filling it up, looks like a little person. So you're going to fill up the area by doing those kind of things. And the smaller you do them, the darker you get, and you can do them closer together and you know, things like that. But that's a way of filling in the texture. You could also do it just as like a squiggle, like that. As long as you're always sort of turning it around, it's never meeting up. Yeah, so you do that, and then if you do that in the square, so then as long as you as you get into the light areas, it sort of spreads out a bit. So you can spread out your lines like that, but then when they get close, they can become really small. Or even just closer together. And that way you'll get some shading as well. So that's uneven hatching. Okay, I'm going to show you one more, and then we'll draw something. And the last one is called random lines. So R-A-N, R-A-N-D-O-M, random. R-A-N-D-O-M, random lines. And this one is basically just a scribble. Once we've done this one, I'll get everyone to hold them up. I know that a few of you have been showing them now, but we'll look at them all once we've done this last one. So with random lines, you're basically just doing a scribble, like this kind of thing. Scribble, 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 scribble. But you know, it's just random, just all over the place. But you want to keep big white areas in the light part, and then smaller, darker, less white areas in the shadow area. So see, I'm doing small squiggles down here, and I'm going over the top and filling in bits. I haven't taken my pencil off at all. And then where I want it to be a little lighter, I'll do a few more, and then where I want light, like that. So less white area means that it's going to be darker, which means it's going to be shadow. So shadow on this side, light on that side. and a mid-tone in the middle. That one can be fun to do because just scribbles, and if you do it with color, it can look really nice too. You could do a couple of different colors in there as a shade. All right, so I want you all to hold up your hatching one so I can see those. So just the hatching, just the one with single lines. Excuse me. Okay, looking good. See if you can get it close to the camera. Just hatching. Yeah, it's good from what I've seen. What about cross hatching? The two different lines. Yeah, good, Gabriella. Yeah, Kira. Yeah, they're looking really good. How about stippling? The dots. Let's see everyone's stippling. Oh, nice. Nice work. Gabriella, yours looks like a moon rock or something. How about uneven lines? Did anyone do any different kinds of lines? Oh yeah, Gabriella did like a squiggle. Oh, that's good. Ella too. Nice. Krisha, yeah, it's very good. Oh, Evelyn, I like how you did it all at one side like that. It looks like hieroglyphic writing up one side. And finally, what about random lines? The scribble one. Nice. A lot of them, they look like a clear ball filled with hair. That's just how it sort of looks. Okay, so they're our basic, excuse me, our basic hatching techniques. There's just 5 of them. There are others, and you can do more with them than just what we've done there, but that's very basic. And you all did very well. I'm very, very, very happy with all the work everyone's done. So now let's draw something and we'll add some hatching to it. Instead of coloring, we'll hatch. Yeah. So keep those handy because we'll refer to them. So let's draw something now. Let's draw. Any suggestions? You want to put it in the chat? But for now, I'll just draw something simple. Let's start off with a circle because I've already been drawing circles today. We'll draw like a little person. But if there's something else you want to draw, put it in the chat and I'll see if I can get to it. Lion, that's a good thing to draw. I could turn this into a lion actually. Oh, let's just hear the thing. Lars, have you got a question? Do you want to unmute and ask a question? No? Have you got a question there, Lars? Lars Dolos? No? Okay. Just your hands up. That's okay. So I'm going to draw, as Araf suggested, a lion. So there's his 2 eyes. And the nose is going to be sort of a curved shape like that with a line through it. A lion through it because it's a lion. Krisha, you got a question?
Like, what are we gonna draw?
We're going to draw a lion.
Oh.
And then we're going to do some of the hatching techniques that I just taught you on that lion.
Lions are so like horrible.
They're not horrible. Why are they horrible? Okay, so Evelyn, have you got a question?
When you put the lines through the lion's nose. It looks like it's a beak.
Yeah, it does look like a beak, like that's the mouth there. Well, I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, it does look like a beak at the moment. We'll just have to wait till we finish. That's the body of the lion. And let's give him some ears. It could be a little bear. Looks like a wombat at the moment. So I'm just trying to use simple shapes like I've shown you before. Now let's put his mane on. So I'm going to sort of add the hair in around like this, going over his body a bit. And then on the other side as well. And around the top. And then I can rub out the bit of body and a little bit of ear. And then let's do his mouth. So from that line on his nose, do a little curve down on one side and a curve on the other. And his mouth's going to be under that. This is his nose. You don't have to draw nostrils in there if you don't want him to have nostrils. His pupils. Maybe give him some eyebrows. I'm going to come back and give him some tufts of hair on his mane, but I'll put his feet in first. So let's give him a little front foot, 2 front feet, leg and a little foot, like that. And rub out this line. And then we'll do his back foot. Back leg, I should say. So curve for his leg and then down for the foot. And up and then curve back up. You might see his other foot back there too. We can just shade that in. Oh, no, we shouldn't shade it in because that's what we're doing with the hatching. Maybe that could be our very first part of hatching. Okay, he needs a tail. With a little teardrop on the end. Like that. Okay. So let's come back to his chest. We'll give him a couple of little tufts of hair on his chest, maybe coming up from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Araf, have you got a question? There you go.
You forgot to do the teeth.
You in a tooth if you want. Like that, or 2 teeth. Busy there. Let me meet you again. Aham, have you got a question? No? Yes?
We can, after this we can make another animal, maybe like in tortoise or maybe turtle. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I did see you've got that in the chat. Yep.
Yeah.
We can do that if we have time. We should have time. Okay, so I'm going to add a few more tufts of fur on his mane, and then we should be ready to ink. So I just did 1, 2, 3 on that side. I'll do 1, 2, 3 on that side. Maybe some at the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just do some wherever you want, maybe some on the top. And then rub out those lines in between. Lucas, have you got a question?
I really want to draw a T-Rex.
Oh, okay. We'll see what we get up to. I've also got a cat on the list too. Okay, so he's pretty much done. Excuse me. So what we can do now is to add some hatching. So I'm just going to switch to the felt tip pen, just so it's easier for you guys to see. And first I'm going to draw around his eyes just to clean them up like that. And what I might do is, because I want his eyeballs to be white and the inside to be dark, so I'll do some hatching in there. I could do, which one would you suggest, stippling or Krisha, have you got a question? I could do stippling or hatching.
We can also draw we can also draw a dog.
A dog? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can add that to the list. I don't think we're going to get to doing all of those things, but yeah, I could add it to the list. Put a dog and a cheetah. Just writing them on the side here. Okay, so I might do just some hatching just to show you on his eye. So I'll zoom in on an eye. And we're going to make the lighting coming from that direction. So it's going to be darker on this side and light on that side. So as I get to this side, I want it to be darker. So I'm going to do the lines getting very, very close together like that. And see how when you pull out, it has a bit of a shading to it. So I'll show you that again on the other eye. So I'll start, make sure you can see and not just look at my thumb. Just do a couple of lines like this and get longer and closer together. And then when you pull out, looks like a bit of shading. Lucas, have you got another question? So I'm going to trace around the nose. Actually, I'm not going to put the nostrils in this time because I'm going to do another kind of hatching. I might do some uneven hatching in here. And then I'm going to get them spread out as they come out this way, then closer together in here. Like that. So his nose has a bit more, oh, sorry, a Laos, have you got a question? I thought it was Lucas. Laos, do you have a question? Do you want to unmute and ask a question? So you can go along with the rest of your drawing. You can trace it like this. I could probably even use a thicker Sharpie. Let me try that for the outside. If you're using a thicker Sharpie, make sure you have paper underneath. You don't want it to soak through. See how it's coming through on that one? You want to make sure you've got paper underneath. I might just go around the outside so it has a thick outline. And that's going to make him stand out a bit. Lars, you don't have a question? Last time I asked. Otherwise, Krisha?
Yes, lion.
Sorry? What did you say, Krisha?
Yes, lion.
Nice lion? Is that what you said? Oh, I could hear was lion. Thank you. Arham, you got a question?
So like I actually like turtles because they're very slow, and I really like the like moving because the like their mouths are like very good. But I also after this can you like make that like make a turtle and then make like trace it with like markers or something that makes it darker, and then you can like color it in like or like you can like do something else like that.
Well, you could. That's what you can use the hatching techniques for, is to make it look darker, and you can put nice patterns on the shell using like uneven hatching.
I'm going to make my own turtle, okay?
Okay, you do that. And you do that, do some hatching on it, and I'd love to see it. So what I'm doing here, as you can see, I've gone around just the outline with a thick pen. And now I'm using the thinner pen to do the lines on the inside. Just trying to do this quickly so we have time to draw something else. And then I can add detail with the hatching that we're going to do. Now, remember when I drew the foot, I said, oh, we'll just put some hatching in there. This third foot. Sorry, this fourth foot, which is the second back leg. I'm just going to do cross hatching close together so it's fairly dark, like that. And then a little bit here on the second front leg. So the darkness is sort of coming through a little bit. And on things like the mane and the tail, you could do the random, like the scribbly lines. So why don't you try giving that a go? Just doing the scribbly lines. Scribble, scribble. Remembering where you want it to be dark and where you want it to be light. You don't have to press hard, because just by drawing over it makes it darker. Then I did the tail. Do some, you don't have to do the whole tail, you don't have to do the whole mane, just bits of it that you want it to be dark in. And I'm not taking my pen off the page, I'm just constantly scribbling over. So just adding in a little bit of scribble. And then other bits of hatching where you think there might be some shadow. And you can turn that hatching into cross hatching to make it darker. Krisha, have you got another question?
The furniture drawn under the main looks like it flies up. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
looks like it flies up.
No, it's like it pauses up. Paw.
Oh, okay. And then I could even change the angle of the hatching for the eyebrows, do it up and down. So what do we got? We've got hatching, we've got cross hatching, we've got, oh, we didn't do any stippling. I was going to do stippling in his eyes. But I could do a bit of stippling in his face, maybe around here. You don't have to have lots of different kinds of hatching on the one drawing. Normally you'd only have one, maybe two. But it's up to you. It's your drawing, it's your artwork. You could do whatever you want. Maybe finish him off. I'll draw some whiskers on him. There we go. Excuse me. It's not fun being sick. We've got some good good examples or good suggestions for animal characters. Oh, Victoria, that's really good. Really nice. So I'll give you some time now to do yours. Finish it up. So what, because I used the pen, once it's dry, so I just saw in Archer's screen the Roomba going past. It's funny. I can now rub out the pencil lines. I'm being very careful. I'm holding the page with one hand like this, holding down, and then I'm erasing away from my hand. So rub, then up, and then rub, then lift up, because I don't want to crinkle the paper. If you go back and forth, you can crinkle the paper up and get horrible, what am I saying? Get like folds in your paper. And now I have, if I've got all the lines, pretty much. Nice clean line. And then I could use markers over the top of that if I want to add color. As I said before, it might be nice to outline it, then color it, and then get some colored pencils to do the shading afterwards. Krisha, did you have another question? Or did I just not put your arm down?
My curtains.
Oh, that's cool. Is that a turtle? That's pretty cool. Gabriella, that's really cool too. Good work. I'm going to say I've got a question here from Kamrazman Howladder. You got a question?
How many more weeks left till we do the comics?
Comics is in the other class, I believe. And sometimes I know that some people from this class are then in the other class. There are two different classes that you do two different things in. But just so you know, today, we're probably going to be doing a bit of this hatching and stuff in the other class as well. Because we sort of almost did 2 lessons in the last class. So if you don't want to double up, you might want to skip that one. But we will be doing some other stuff as well. But this class, I believe, I don't have the schedule in front of me. I was looking at it before. I think it's just more of basics of drawing and getting used to drawing because it's a younger class, and the class that's on at 6:15 till 7:15 is a bit more advanced. And in that class this term, we're focusing on comics. So if you want to do comics, that's the class for you. Excuse me, but it is more advanced in the drawing techniques. Okay, so let's see. Well, we have time. Yeah, we've got time to do another one. So let's do, shall we do a tortoise then? Let's see. So you don't have to follow along with me for this one because you can all draw your own tortoise. Some of you already have drawn a tortoise, so you could draw something else if you want. But if you want to follow with me, try and keep it fairly simple. There's the shell shape. So I'm just back using my pencil and I'm being very sketchy. I'm being very rough. I might do his head up here with his neck coming down. I'll concentrate on his head for now. So this is going to be his little beak and his eye. Might do his other eye popping up there. Maybe he's looking out this way. Little nostrils, and that's his mouth. Okay, so now his feet. So like little curves to show the weight of his shell coming down, and then a little pointy foot like that. And the second one sticking out there as well. Might add a ridge to his shell, this line, and have a bit sticking out. All right, got a question?
I drawn my own tortoise, and I also decided that it needs some, like a little bit of shells at the back. That's why I add that in on the shell.
Okay, can I have a look? You want to show me? Oh, cool. He's you could draw a little mask on him and he'd look like one of the Ninja Turtles. Put an eye mask on him. That's pretty good. Okay, so the back leg, not going to see much of it. I want to try and keep it the same level as this.
I'm gonna draw a little tail.
Yeah, that would be the next thing I'm going to draw too. Little foot there, and as Araf just said, a little tail sticking out the back.
And I also did a design on it.
On his shell?
No, on the tail.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do a design on the shell in a minute. Oh, we need to put in his belly shell. Okay. Okay, so we've got the basics of our turtle. Now I'm going to draw a line coming up here. Sorry, and then on an angle, like a Y, the letter Y on the side, and then we'll do another one here. Y. And then we'll join this one up there. Not all the way, we'll do a Y at the top of that as well, like that. So it should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little sections on the shell. So that is the basic line work I'm going to do for the turtle. So now I'm going to go to my felt tip pen and I'm just going to trace around the shell. So I'm just going to turn this around so I can actually I'll do the neck first because the neck's over the top, oops, of the shell. And then I'm going to draw the shell. You don't have to do those big lines in one go either. You can break it up. And then I'm going to go around each of these segments of the shell. Okay, so I've traced around each shell. Oh, nice, Ariel. He's got a very pointy shell. So to do hatching in here, we could do some different things in there. I was thinking, I'm just going to go back to my pencil for a second. Could do a similar thing to the what am I saying? The uneven line. Sorry, my brain just didn't work. The uneven. I was looking at the word uneven and I forgot how to say it. Where we could copy these shapes. So as if uneven, but we're getting smaller and smaller. But to show that there's light coming from one side, you could trace it at this angle here. But then as it gets up to this top bit, we can just sort of dot it off as if it fades away. This will become a bit more clearer when I finish this. So let me just show you. All right, and then give a little bit of a blow and erase those lines like that. That's one way we could do a bit of a hatching technique using shapes, which is what uneven is, but we're doing a solid line for the shadow and a dotted line to nothing where the highlight is, where the light's coming from. Araf, do you have a question?
I was thinking that you can add like a 3 hair at the top of the head.
Yeah, you can add hair to your turtle, your tortoise. Do whatever you want there.
Because that will make it look better.
Okay. Have you put hair on yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look.
I did 3.
It's too high. Hold it lower. Ah, there you go. Oh, they look like little spikes on his head. That's good. Aham, have you got? You want to show me something?
Yeah, I want to show you my picture of turtle.
Okay, show me.
Oh, yes.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I even had trees
Yeah,
and the beach.
that
I
looks
need
really
water. I'm adding more water.
more turtles. So I'm just going to keep drawing those the shapes within the shells to do the hatching in those areas. Just going to draw them in pencil, and then I'm going to trace them and rub them out like you saw me do just before, and try and show more and more lit up areas. Krisha, have you got a question?
But like the hatching, cross hatching, stippling, random and uneven. Are we doing all of those symbols on all of our drawings?
Right. You don't
So,
have to. You don't have to use all of them. You can just do one if you want.
okay.
So if you like one, like I really like stippling. So I would do my whole turtle just using stippling.
I have my cousins, sisters, and brothers next to my building.
What's next to your building, sorry? I didn't hear what you said, sorry, Krisha. Every time you talk, your microphone seems to drop out. Unless it's just mine, I don't know. So with this little one I'm doing here, it's a lot of it is stippling. So there's not much lines on this side because it's so high. August, have you got a question? Do you want to unmute and ask your question? I can't hear you, but try and hold that turtle really close. I've got a little view of it. Hold the turtle right in front of the camera. Higher, higher. There we go. A bit closer. Oh, that's good. Oh, I like this. Is that random lines on the shell? That looks cool. Nice shading. Very good. Good job. Okay, just gonna finish this one off. And then always remember to put your lids back on because your pens will dry out, and we don't want that to happen. So if I rub out all these pencil lines on the shell only, you can see what I did for the, okay, is that showing up clear? So see how there's all these light areas? So it's like the sunlight's hitting them. So if I shaded those areas in, not that I need to do this, but just going to show it so it's a bit clearer to you. This is sort of where the shadow is, and that's the highlight. So see how it looks like there's the light is hitting it and it's casting a shadow on this side. That's the point of the stippling of the hatching. Araf, you spinning, you got a question?
I also added that scribbling.
The points?
Yeah, the scribblings on the shell.
You might have to put the background off.
Okay.
Sounds like someone's vacuuming or something. Oh, I see. Very good. Yeah, good job. I'm gonna mute you again. Sorry, I just had to mute you because it was very, very loud there. Evelyn, we've only got a couple of minutes left, everyone. So just try and get to everyone's questions before we go.
I want to show you what I did with it.
Yeah, okay. You do that. I can see Victoria's as well. That's a cute face, Victoria. Evelyn, that's really nice. Really cute.
So, leaves in his mouth.
Yeah, that's great. Good job. Does everyone want to hold up theirs? Gabriella, that's cool shading. I like that. Let's see. Finn, Finn, you did a tank. Is there shading on it? It's hard to tell. It's a bit dark. Oh, nice coloring. Nice camo. Very good. Let's see. Thomas, that's good too. Yeah, we've only got 3 minutes left.
All right. I think that's it, everyone. Today we end a little bit early today. For Mr. Evans have some rest. Okay. Can you take a photo and send it to Brilliant Kids? And if possible, tell your parent to do a good review for Brilliant Kids, please, on Facebook or on Google. Thank you. Yeah, that's it, everyone. I'm going to unmute everyone to say goodbye to Mr. Evans.
Goodbye, Mr. Evans.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.